If you have ADHD, just look at the other stuff on my screen. But this is really important. This guy, Jack, is behind some of your millennials' favorite music, such as the We Are Young track. Lots of stomp, clap. Wait, this is different than... That guy, Kyle Gordon, made a parody of this song. So apparently our good friend Jack of the band Fun just split up with Margaret Qualley. Don't know who she is. She's an actress, and it's really making the rounds in the tabloids, right? Why did they split up? They were married 3 years, Jack Antonoff and Margaret Qualley. Didn't cheat. They say scheduling conflicts. What does that really mean? They didn't like each other that much. Look how Jack talks about his marriage to Margaret Qualley in this interview in this one Jimmy Fallon interview, roll the clip, has this strange pause when he's speaking about marrying Margaret Qualley.
How was the wedding? I feel like I keep thinking this, which I was like, I had this idea like I perform, so I don't care.
I didn't care.
I don't care. You know, I just want to be married to her. I don't give a. Are we not supposed to curse?
No, you can do it. We'll bleep all this out anyway.
Yeah, so in my head, I'm like,
we're gonna write from cheesesteaks to this.
Yeah, it's like I don't care. I want to eat a cheesesteak.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
The S word we can't.
And I want to marry her.
No, hey, come on.
And then
Unbelievable.
Just do away with no cursing on TV. I mean, no, we have to have rules. Okay, fair. So I didn't care. And this idea, like I perform, so I'm not one of these people. I don't care. I can't do anything. I don't mind being here. I don't mind being on stage. It doesn't faze me too much. And then as soon as I walked up, there was the ultimate. It was the most alone I've ever been in my life in a way because my bride hadn't come out yet, and I'm very into like making bits because my bride hadn't come out yet, and I'm very into like making bits. And even the way I came out here is a good example, right? Like Jimmy asked a question, and I kind of like alphaed it a little bit and turned it and did the cheesesteak thing, right? It was I'm just pushing the attention.
What's real in your world, Jack?
Away, and so I'm always pushing away. And it was the first time I was just sort of frozen, and it felt like 30 years of cynicism was exiting my body.
He mentioned something like feeling very alone for a moment on the aisle right before he's getting married, and the audience is like, "Aw, I don't know." I sensed a little bit of remorse in that hesitation. The Jack Antonoff iceberg goes much deeper. Jack Antonoff has dated Lena Dunham, director of Girls, and author of the memoir Fame Sick, which I have listened to an audiobook of. Cheated on Lena Dunham with Lorde. I mean, I love Lorde. I can't. She kind of sidesteps it in Fame Sick, but we'll get into that. And then before he was even really a famous musician, he dated Scarlett Johansson in high school. They went to prom together. This is an interesting example, like that photo of Charlie XCX and Young Lean in elementary school. This is photoshopped, but this is real. Like, these are two famous people dating pre-fame. Now, he was touring at the time with his punk band, and his parents were upper middle class and could support him in doing so. Now, Scarlett Johansson actually dumped him after high school. She moved to Hollywood. Okay, let's just start at the very beginning. The core pillar of Jack Antonoff lore, which he references in virtually every interview and which so many of the songs he writes for other artists is about, is the death of his baby sister. That happened when he was 13, very tragically. I am convinced from my research on this guy, it made him chronically depressed. I think he ticked a little bit differently after the fact. He references grief so often. He said that the memory of grief can fully consume you in a way that no other memory can, no other emotion can, you know. A lot of beautiful, flowery language about grief. So anyways, Jack was musically inclined from a very young age. He toured with a punk band named Outline. He described his early shows as being dead. He played to empty venues. And he said that early loss put everything into perspective for him. He's sort of zoomed out and realized he only had one life, and he wanted to pursue his passion, which was music. Clearly somewhat of a savant, by the way. He's very talented. You can hear him. It's really fun to hear him talk about layering. Anyways, he tours with all these punk bands, makes a bunch of millennial music, dates Lena Dunham after Scarlett Johansson. If I remember correctly, in Fame Sick, she describes Jack as being kind of nerdy, wearing glasses, a gentle lover. Lena Dunham is really a girl's girl. Like, that's one thing that interests me about Jack is this is the girliest, like, straight guy you'll ever meet. And if you want to really get into it, let's talk about all the songs he wrote. 1989 credits Taylor Swift. Now, a lot of people wrote on this album, Jack Antonoff included. But I don't know, all I know is he writes on a lot of girls' albums. That's that breakup fit. Dude, look how sad he is. He has my hairline. This guy Jack Antonoff's superpower is that everything this guy Jack Antonoff makes is earnest. Like, it's cringe. There is zero irony in anything this guy makes. And that's why it's so popular, because he really wears his heart on his sleeve in the music he makes, you know? It's easy to make fun of, and it's cringe, but it's honest, you know? He's cringe, but he's honest. And that's why the ladies love him. That's why he writes for Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter and all the mainstream pop.